What's going on, everybody? It's Sigourney Jackson here with another episode of Hoop Politics. So glad you guys are watching. If you haven't already, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, and share, and do all that kind of great stuff because we're a community and we're growing together. So I really need you guys' support, and I'm going to continue to drop gems for you every single day. So this is what we're going to get into today, all right? What are the checklists that you need to go off of when it's time to hire a trainer? Because let me go ahead and say it now, trainers are by far the biggest scammers and con artists there is in all of basketball. Everybody thinks they're certified. Everybody thinks that they're legit. Everybody thinks they know what they're talking about. And everybody thinks that they can make talent. And that's not the case. That is not the case at all. And we're going to break down what are the top things that you need to be looking at, and so you don't get scammed out of your money like everybody else is nowadays. The first thing that you need to be asking yourself when it comes to hiring a trainer is, where did they play? That is very important because you need to figure out what type of experience do they have. If a trainer is trying to train you and they have never played any form of basketball beyond high school, most likely they are not a good candidate for being a trainer. There are some exceptions where a few trainers, for some odd reason, they never played. They don't really know too much as far as experience is concerned, but they make great talent. But that is very far and in between, okay? I would say that's like 5% out of 100. Like, that's a very special thing. Most likely you want to always get you a trainer who has real-time experience playing the game of basketball. The next question you want to ask is, who did they play for? Okay, it's kind of a twofold question or a twofold answer, but who did they play for? Okay, you don't ever want to feel like this guy is saying, I did play college basketball, but when you ask where, it's like some small private Christian school out in the middle of Montana that we've never heard of before. It's just kind of weird, you know? It's almost like if, okay, so you know how there are some people who say, oh, I was a pro, like I played pro basketball, and then when you look and see where they played at, they were somewhere in Spain, but they were in like a bottom division, somewhere like the 13th division, making like $20 a week, and they were rooming up with everybody else, and it was like 20 to a room and that kind of wild, crazy mess. That is almost the same thing of what I'm talking about. Like, technically you were a pro, but it's like nobody respects that. Nobody, like, you were playing against truck drivers, you were playing against people who had a 9-to-5 along with coming in and playing their basketball games. Like, that's not real professional, but I guess technically it is because you're getting paid. But if that's the case, then I guess semi-pro is kind of like pro as well, but there's a reason you call it semi-pro. The next thing that you want to ask a trainer is, who have they trained? And it's better to get those names and be able to call them and ask other players, hey, what's this trainer like? Is he legit? When did he start training you? Because what a lot of trainers will also do is they love to train a guy one time who was already a decent player and who ended up signing somewhere, or who was already signed, and say, oh yeah, I trained so-and-so too. Like, oh yeah, I trained Allen Iverson when he was in high school, but he was already Allen Iverson, already had every school in the country. So it doesn't count. If you didn't bring that kid up before he was known and train him and make him better, then you didn't really train him. And another key thing is, you don't want to get caught up in when the trainer says, oh, I trained this guy, if they don't really match who you are as a player. So there's no point in you telling me I trained this one player who's 6'8" or 6'9". That guy already had the politics. He was going to get seen whether you trained him or not. But I want to see, who did you train that was a 6-foot guard, or who was a 6'1" guard who had to actually work and had to find a way to get better so he could be seen. Those are the type of players that you want a trainer to name. Something that is going to line up with you to make it feel like, okay, he's going to be able to help me out. And it's not going to be because this guy was already a finished product. He can mold me as clay and make me into what I need to be in order to play at the next level. So don't fall for the okie doke with that, all right? Check and see with your trainers, or who you might potentially make your trainer, who did they actually train, how long, how tall were they, and be able to call those kids up and ask them about them, and ask, are they legit? How long did they train? What are some of the drills they did to make them better? Is he reliable? All that kind of stuff, because that is key. That is so important, and that is a key way to see if you're going to get scammed or not. A huge thing that you got to watch out for when it comes to a trainer is, when you get ready to start working with a trainer, the telltale sign of whether or not they really are legit is, have they watched film? Do they tell you to meet up with you and let's just start training right away? If they do, they're not legit trainers. Because just think about it from the perspective of this. if I'm a doctor and I'm trying to give you pain medicine, I can't give you medicine if I don't diagnose what your illness is. If that's the case, I might mess around and kill you with what I give you because I don't have any idea what you even need right now. It's no different than being a trainer. Why would I bring you in and say, all right, look, we're going to do a bunch of shooting drills, but you're already a shooter? There's no need for that. All I'm doing is just making you comfortable. I'm making you do the stuff that you normally do. But if I can look at your game and say, oh, you're a great shooter, but you're not a great driver. You're not a great creator off the dribble. You're more of a Klay Thompson where you run off of screens and catch a shooter, or Ray Allen. Then I know when we go into training, we're going to make you uncomfortable. We're going to make you do the things that you don't necessarily do that will take your game to the next level and make it easier for you to be able to do what you do best. If I'm a shooter, I need to be able to show that I have somewhat of a drive game so people will respect it, so I can get that space to be able to get my shots off. That's the things that trainers have to look at. If they're not watching your film, if they're not watching your games up close and in person, then they have no business training you. They have no business telling you what it is that you need to be working on because they have no idea. So don't fall for that either. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. And I see so many people who get caught up in that. I see Instagram videos where trainers will have 7, 8 kids and they just have them all doing the same cookie cutter drills. And it's like, how do you even know that's what they need? Because all 7 of those players are different people. One of them 6'8", the other's 5'11", one of them 6'10", the other 6'4". Some of those guys don't need to be doing certain drills that those trainers have them doing, but because it looks good on Instagram and because those kids are paying money and I'm trying to get more money, I'm going to put them all in one session and I'm going to get me a couple $100s in a matter of an hour, and then I'm going to get out of Dodge. Don't fall for the okie doke. I'm telling you now. And the final thing that you have to ask is, do they actually understand the game? And this is a hard one, but you have to really be able to get a feel for the trainer and know, do they understand the game? And not the simple game of basketball, but do they know how to do the things that they're trying to teach you, and more importantly, when you're supposed to do it. What happens a lot of times is there are some of these really elite trainers who weren't elite basketball players. They weren't big-time college players. They weren't big-time high school players. They were people who eventually stopped playing after high school or early in college. And then what happens is they work on their game after they've already stopped playing. And they get really, really good. However, now they have a package or a bag of moves, but they really can't tell you where's the best place to use these moves or what are the situations for these moves. You know, because they've never had that experience of using it in a real game. So sometimes you might even want to look at your trainer's highlight tapes and see, okay, what he's teaching me, has he done it in the game? How do I know that he's legit in it? Because you don't want to walk around and just have all these double cross step backs, between the legs, behind the back, step back, side steps, crazy jelly finishes. You don't want to have all these in your repertoire but never know how to do them, because that's how you end up getting those highlight tapes where you see players who are doing all these endless dribbling moves but they go nowhere because they're just doing it at the top of the key in a one-on-one session. You want to be efficient. You want to know, this is where I need to make this move, this is where I need to do this is where I need to have this type of finish. So that way you can become a better player and be able to fully utilize your repertoire. So that's all that I got today. I think that I covered it all. But anyway, I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure that you guys like, subscribe, comment. I like to do quick videos. I don't really like doing all the extra talking and everything. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at @hoop_politics. I'm going to put that down in the description as well. Make sure you go and check out some of my other videos as well, because I'm growing. This is my 3rd video. But I really want you guys to just support. I really appreciate everything that you guys do for me. Let me know what you might want me to do next time for another video. I'm just trying to put out as many as I can every week. I don't really have a set schedule right now. I'm just dropping them. So I think that's it. Yeah, don't get fooled by trainers, all right? Don't let them keep taking your money. It's ridiculous. They're scamming you guys. A lot of you guys have these trainers and you're not even getting better and you look terrible, okay? Don't let them keep doing that. Do your research on the trainer, and these are some of the signs that you need to be looking at, and so you can actually get better and save your parents and yourself a lot of money. All right, I'm out. God is always in control. Peace.